Thanks for joining with us today, Jeff. It's a pleasure having you here. First, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, well, I'm an Air Force veteran. I served from 1991 to 2013. I retired from the Air Force as a senior master sergeant. I was, I did everything from aircraft maintenance to recruiting to more supervisorial type positions. So I got a little bit of an experience or, different areas. So,
Perfect. So, Jeff, tell me a little bit more about the county that you work in.
so Winnebago County we have roughly about a 12,000 veteran population in Winnebago County. Um, it's primarily a mix of rural, and there are cities in Winnebago County, some good sized cities. In fact, we have a bulk of our population at the lower end of the county, and then another bulk of the population at the higher end of the county, which can be a bit of a challenge because we end up having to have two offices for Winnebago County. So we have our main office in Oshkosh, and then we have a smaller satellite office with two people in our Fox Valley area, the Needham Menasha area. So we have two offices to make it easier for veterans to come in. So targeting both of our big populations of the county. So
Okay, that's good to know that makes sense, and that way, people on one end they still have someplace to go, and place, and they're not driving across the whole county.
yeah, we find that the people in like the Oshkosh, the southern end, really don't like to travel up to the northern end, and the northern end they don't like to come down this area. So it works out pretty good. We've been able to make it work, and you know, realistically, the longest somebody has to travel to get to our office is one of our offices is probably 20 minutes. So
Oh, that's not bad.
no, even some of our smaller rural areas, it only takes 20 minutes to get to Oshkosh or 20 minutes to get to the Nina Menashe office. So we're accessible to all of them. So
Perfect. That's good to hear. So, Jeff, as the CVSO for Winnebago County, what are some of the services your office provides for veterans?
well, we try to pride ourselves on doing just about everything. We'll help with education benefits, getting somebody enrolled in VA healthcare. If they got a problem with a bill from the VA, we'll help with that. Burial benefits, we do everything from ordering the headstones to sending DD 214s to the funeral honors and etc. I think our primary purpose, what we do the most of, is filing disability claims and pension applications. We have a large amount of assisted living homes and nursing homes in Winnebago County. So pension applications, the pension with aid and attendance applications are a big part of our day-to-day activity too. So between disability and pension applications, that takes up a bulk of our time during the day. But we do help with burial, a little bit of everything. And if it's veteran related, we try and get involved with it. Education, the school certifying officials, they do a lot of that stuff. We just get them going in the right direction, help with some forms. But the education, school certifying officials at the colleges handle a lot of that aspect of it. But everything else, I think we do a really good job of helping people. We're not an office where people come in and we hand them an application and say, "Hey, go fill this out and bring it on back." We have a very well-staffed office, and we will sit down and help that person fill out line by line the application, usually on our computers. So we're very involved. We're not just a handout an application, come back and bring it to us when you're complete type of office. So very hands-on.
That's good to hear, because I think that's one thing that deters a lot of people and veterans is when they're seeking to go for benefits or whatnot, is just that, well, here's the paperwork, do this or do that. lot of people get lost or just don't want to deal with that. Really having that hands-on and building that relationship and having someone there, I think that's great and really is beneficial.
Yeah, I think it cuts down on mistakes, and to fix a mistake is sometimes takes a lot longer than just doing it right the first time.
Yep.
So that's we do the applications ourselves, and then go over them and then have them sign and then we send them in. So usually via the our computer systems. So
Perfect. That's great. Would you say there's a specific era of veterans your office sees the most?
oh boy, I really think our biggest is our Vietnam veterans still, believe it or not. We rarely see Korean War veterans and World War II veterans in our office. If we do, it's typically a family member and we're working on a pension application because they're in an assisted living home or a nursing home, or we're helping with burial benefits. Our biggest, the biggest amount of veterans that come in are from the Vietnam era, most definitely. So
Okay, perfect. Do you think there's a specific demographic of veterans that your office doesn't see that often?
I would really like to see more of the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. They're a tough. I don't want to say a tough group to work with, but it's difficult to get them into the office just because their work. They come home, they get a job. They're going to school, they have families, they got a very hectic life, and sometimes they put this stuff to the back burner. Those are the hardest ones to reach. Where it seems like the Vietnam era guys, they're for the most part, they're retired now and they have a lot more free time, and now they start investigating their benefits and et cetera. So it's if I could get one group in more, I would like to see the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans come into the office because I know they're out there. It's just a matter of getting them to break free from work or their families and come on in and work with us for a little bit. So.
Good. That actually kind of leads to my next question is what are some different ways you guys try to reach out to veterans?
We try to hit up as many outreach events as we can. We're pretty active with our newsletters and Facebook, and but I'm being honest, we can set up at the fairs and the air shows and stuff like that, but it's still not enough. We're not capturing the Iraqi and Afghanistan veterans just because a lot of them are working full-time jobs and families. We do our best to do as much outreach as possible, but it's tough.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I can see that. What would you say that's probably one of your biggest challenges you guys are facing right now with helping veterans is kind of reaching out to, like OEF, Afghanistan, Iraq, like newer veterans or?
correct. I wish that when they go through TAP, that transition assistance program, that it would be stressed. Like this is a pipe dream, but it would be stressed that if they know where this veteran's going, they have if they knew a veteran was coming back to Winnebago County, they would have our information, they would have our contact. We'd make contact with them before they even come back home, just so it can be a nice warm handoff. It seems like when they go through TAP training, at least my experience is when you went through TAP training, you went through the transition assistance program. You met all these counselors and they taught you how to do resumes and all this stuff, and then there was no handoff. You're left on your own, and then okay, well, now what do I do? Most of them don't know how to get enrolled in VA healthcare or what if they're eligible, and I wish it was a warmer handoff between veterans from active duty to their home communities, because there's so many people that are willing to help. It's a matter of knowing they're there, because the Department of Defense does not provide us with this massive list of all these veterans and their addresses and did they deploy, did they not deploy, et cetera. So it can be a challenge. So,
Yeah, I can see it because that's essentially how it was when I got out. Was you went through the quick program, like like you said, building a resume, stuff like that. Then when you get out, it's like, okay, now who do I talk to? And at the time I didn't really work in veteran organizations, obviously. So I didn't know. Someone's like, oh, talk to your CVSO. Go, what's the CVSO? What are you? I have no idea. So that would be great if there was a better bridge where as soon as even a system saying, hey, when you get out, contact your CVSO in your county. Something. I think that would be really beneficial.
yeah, I really do. And unfortunately, like the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, they're not coming back and joining the legions and the VFWs and stuff like that. And so I can go to those meetings all day long, and I do go to a lot of them, but um, I'm they're just not coming to them because
Yeah.
they work all day and they don't want to come and sit in a meeting for 2 hours. So it's hard to capture those guys. There has to be a better way to connect them to their resources here in the counties. So I'm off my soapbox with that now. So.
No, that's fine. I'm up there with you, so I agree 100%. So are there some different veteran organizations you guys do partner with?
Yeah, we try to actually we're pretty close with all of the ones in the local area. The Wisconsin Department of Veteran Affairs, um, all of the service organizations we work very well with. We have a monthly meeting that we get all the commanders together and we have discussions about what's a problem, what we can work on together on this or that. So it even though what we have a VA clinic in Appleton and they have outreach people that we work with on a regular basis. So I think we're doing well with that. Taking all of our resources and helping together because there are certain benefits in the state versus federal benefits and county benefits. So we do a pretty good job of blending them all together to maximize the benefit per veteran. So the nonprofits are a big help in this area too. We got some great nonprofits in this area. So a little bit of everything. So, if I can't get help for a veteran through one state agency, I'm going to try a nonprofit. I'm going to try the Fed side of the house. So I'm going to do whatever I can to help them.
That's great because a lot of times too with veterans, it gets a little overwhelming with all the different organizations, nonprofits, and different things out there, and they don't know what's what or who should help with what. And really having, especially CVSOs having connections with these different organizations is, oh, this is who you want to go to. This is what can help you. Or hey, let's give this a shot. Really having that built community already really helps.
Yeah, I agree. Having the knowledge of what's available and then being
Yeah.
able to connect the veteran to the right resource is huge. So that eliminates a lot of their frustration by calling this place or filling out this and getting denied. And so we just need to get them into the door. So
Yep. Step one.
yep.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Jeff, the last question I got for you today is what's the best way a veteran can get a hold of you in your office or offices, I should say, since you got two of them?
We respond to all means. If somebody emails us, we respond to that. I check our Facebook account every day. Obviously, the easiest thing to do is just to give us a phone call, leave a message. We do have a full-time administrative person that answers the phone on a regular, from 8 to 4:30 every day. So there's always somebody here. There's enough of us where, we get back in a timely manner. It may not be if they call like 3 PM, it might not be until the next morning, but depending on how many calls we get, but we're phone calls, email, Facebook. We check it all regularly on a regular basis. So preferred method is probably the phone.
Perfect. Well, what is the phone number?
It's 920-232-3400. 920-232-3400. That rings to our administrative person's desk. And then she'll route it to Nina or Menasha or, to one of us in the offices here. So who's ever free at the moment. So.
Perfect. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for being here. You gave a lot of great information, and we're really excited for this to reach veterans, especially in your county. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.